The history of Canada covers a period from the arrival of the Paleo-Indians to North America through the Bering Strait thousands of years ago to the present day. The lands encompassing present-day Canada have been inhabited for millennia by indigenous peoples with distinct trade networks, spiritual beliefs, and styles of social organization. Some of these older civilizations had long faded by the time of the first European arrivals and have been discovered through archaeological investigations. The real history starts from the late 15th century. French and British expeditions explored, colonized, and fought over various places within North America in what constitutes present-day Canada. The colony of New France was claimed in 1534, with permanent settlements beginning in 1608, mainly surrounding the Great Lakes region. France ceded nearly all of its North American possessions that are not in the Caribbean to the Great Britain in 1763 at the Treaty of Paris after the 7 Years' War. Shortly after, their southern neighbor, the newly formed United States, got independence from Great Britain in 1812. The U.S. invaded British Canada, largely due to the British kidnapping American sailors and forcing them into their own navy. But the War of 1812 came to an eventual white peace, and both the United States and eventually Canada claimed victorious in the war. The now British province of Quebec was divided into Upper and Lower Canada in 1791. The two provinces were united as the Province of Canada by the Act of Union 1840, which came into force in 1841. In 1867, the Province of Canada was joined with two other British colonies of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia through Confederation, forming a self-governing entity. Canada was adopted as a legal name of the new country, and the word Dominion was conferred as the country's title. Over the next 82 years, Canada expanded by incorporating other parts of British North America, finishing with Newfoundland and Labrador in 1949, shortly after the Second World War. Canada also almost incorporated various British North American colonies, such as Jamaica, Belize, and Trinidad and Tobago, in the late 1800s to early 1900s, but this got rejected later on. Although responsible government had existed in British North America since 1848, Britain continued to set its foreign and defense policies until the end of World War I. The Balfour Declaration of 1926, the 1930 Imperial Conference, and the passing of the Statute of Westminster in 1931 recognized that Canada had become co-equal with the United Kingdom. The patriation of the Constitution in 1982 marked the removal of legal dependence on the British Parliament. Canada currently consists of 10 provinces and 3 territories and is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy. Over centuries, elements of Indigenous, French, British, and more recent immigrant customs have combined to form a Canadian culture that has also been strongly influenced by its linguistic, geographic, and economic neighbor, the United States. Since the conclusion of the Second World War, Canada's strong support for multilateralism and internationalism has been closely related to its peacekeeping efforts. Canada, since full independence, has been a strong ally for both the American realm and the British realm that also includes Australia and New Zealand. And Europe was added in that when the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations after World War II formed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, who strengthened ties and prevent the spread of communism. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, despite some hiccups and Canada not spending enough on its military, Canada has been a prosperous modern history, although with newly elected President Donald Trump's recent remarks, that could change. That is all for the simplified history of Canada. If you think I missed anything really major in the history, comment down below. But now, stats time. Canada is the second largest country in the entire world, with 9.984 million square kilometers of land. The population of Canada is roughly 40 million. The GDP of Canada is 2.142 trillion US dollars, and per capita is around 54,000 USD. That is it for the simplified history of Canada.